Okay. Everything should be working this time. I think I got it all sorted now. Okay. Minimize. There we go. Mhm. Yeah. Anyway, this may end up being training montage part 2. I'm thinking it'll go a little bit more smoothly, I hope. I ended up skipping a lot of Victory Road before, because I was really tired that stream. So I got all the way through it, so I can easily fly back to the Indigo Plateau for healing. But I've still got to go and take on a lot of what's there. Trainer-wise. I've still got a lot to deal with. In terms of trainers here. But that's okay. My stuff could really use some more training, so... My team's a little bit short, and it's not going to be the very strongest one in terms of optimization, so I'm just gonna have to take advantage of... type matchups and moves and abilities. I'm just gonna have to do my best to optimize, and I'm gonna have to give you something that's not helping hand. That's pretty useless here. Barely a double battle in sight. Much less than the... Was hoping you could learn Dragon Claw. No such luck, huh? Focus Punch. I'd rather rely on Brick Break. Water Pulse. I'll keep that in mind. Absolutely no idea where it's pulling. Where it's pulling that water from. Can you learn Protect? Okay, you can learn just about everyone can learn Protect. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Hopefully you shouldn't need Frustration. You don't need Dig, you've already got Earthquake. Huh, Sandstorm. Zapdos can learn Sandstorm, interesting. Might keep that for Riley, though. If I could combine that and its poison, that'd be pretty good. Hopefully it shouldn't be having to deal with anything that is a special attacker. I'd prefer to avoid that. What do you got currently? Fire Blast? That's kind of better. Only moderately less accurate. We just have to do what we can. I'll just have to keep things in mind. Double battle. I don't think I battled you. Let's find out. Yep. No one's clustered up super close in Victory Road, unfortunately, so I can't really take full advantage of the VS Seeker here, but... Earthquakes... gonna hit everyone. Should switch out for Zephyr. And this is kind of a big level difference right there. Zephyr wouldn't have to worry about poison. I might do that, just in case. Zephyr won't have to worry about poisoning. So I think it'll be okay. See, like that. Paralysis. That's still a problem, though. Oh, Thrash. Ugh. Do I dare risk it? I think I better just heal up. What's stronger? Fly or heal peck? Or heal peck. Drill peck. That's kind of a big difference right there. Oh. Stronger than fly, huh? I better keep going with that then. I'll just gradually take one out. Oof. Okay. That's enough. That's enough. Solar beam or sunny day? Secret power, maybe. That should finish off Nita Queen. So that's good enough there. Pretty bad split, except for Uzumaki. I want to get Uzumaki up to at least learning, Rain Dance. I feel like I'm gonna need it. Little extra boost there for the water type moves. Secret power. You better heal up. Kinda don't want to keep using my hyper potions if I don't have to. Oh, good. Good, I brought the soda pop. Mega Horn. Oh, thank goodness. I mean, I know it learns it. I know it gets it. I know it can get it in this game, but, Where does it have to be in Nidorino? I can't remember. I have to look that one up. What? How'd I do that? Has that always been a thing? Has that always been a thing? I've never seen that before. I didn't know that was possible. I love learning new stuff. Okay, enough of that. I've never seen that before. Okay. Enough of that. Enough of that. I wonder if I should heal up in 2. Anyway, just attempting to Mega Horn Nido King. $43. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Level 43. Yeah, Zephyr. And Drill Peck. Wish I could use Thunder, but, you know, ground type. It's not gonna do much good. There we go. Well, a couple steps in, and it looks like it's time to go back out and heal up already. At this point in the game, I don't really want to waste resources. $1,300. That's not enough to buy Elite Four supplies. Okay, Onyx. Riley should be able to do this. Onyx isn't very tough. That's not gonna do any good. Riley is also ground type. So, I want to figure out how to make a custom model. I've got a design in mind. I've got a design down. This is at least sketched out and I got the colors down. So if I could make it, if I could cut the pieces up the way you're supposed to for a model, I could make an attempt to rig it. Or failing that, turn it into a fancy PNG. I'm considering recording the process. Maybe if all goes well, turning it into some kind of tutorial. Tutorial videos are popular. Maybe doing all of the above, just learning how to use all these different types of things. I think that would be fun. And I figure if I try all the different kinds of styles of things out, I can maybe figure out at least one of them. And barring that, I did find someone relatively affordable. They do beginner level rigging, and I'm a beginner level VTuber, so I think it sounds like a pretty okay match. Back out this way. Yeah. I'll just work my way backwards. Take out the trainers on the way. Earthquake. There we go. Back this way? I don't mind running into wild Pokemon in this case. They're so high level. Good for the training. To get up to learning Mega Horn, maybe I'll make it forget Helping Hand in terms of harder to learn Mega Horn. Just to have as much coverage as possible on everyone. I don't think it's a terrible idea, at least. A child prodigy. Is that me? Or was that my rival? I can't remember who that was referring to. Executor. I'm not gonna risk it. You're also poison. Better go with this trail. Fire spin. If I can... That was a confusion. That hurt. Bad sign, maybe. Egg bomb. I forgot that was a thing you could just learn. I forgot that wasn't exclusive to, like, Chansey. Or was that by TM? I'm pretty sure Egg Bomb was a TM in the first one. Several things were able to learn it. I think I better switch out after all. I may end up relying on Zapdos a lot for this. Oof. That's okay. If I can just make it through this. Train everyone up enough to make it through. Make it through Elite Four. Cloister. Thunder. Finally, I get to use it. Sand Slash. That should be good for Zephyr. Then again, I thought Executor would be a good matchup for Israel, so maybe not. Do I dare use Sunny Day? I don't know. Might send out something fire type. That might be risky. It might be better to just tank whatever Sand Slash can give out. Cause honestly, that ain't a whole lot. Not without liberal TM use. There we go. Super effective. Almost up to evolving. And then just a couple levels after that. Just a couple more. To learn Rain Dance. I think that's level 27. Or something like that. Then I can go ahead and evolve it. Oh yeah, I forgot about Intimidate. Might also just make it forget Brick Break. Cause like anything that will be good against is either already covered by Earthquake or actually everything else that I'd be using it against might just be weak to Earthquake as well. Huh. Maybe I'll go for Sandstorm after all. Oof. Poison Point. Poison Point. Yeah. It's gonna be up to you in the end, Zapdos. I can see it now. Yes, level 25. Oh, you're already trying to learn Rain Dance. That's even better. That means I can just go ahead and evolve you. Electrode. An Exploder. What's your defense like? 74. I'd really expect your defense to be better than that. I mean, you are slightly lower level than the others, but I feel like you shouldn't be getting outclassed by a plant. I'm just worried about exploding. Self-destruct. No, don't run. Wait, did I have a water? I think I had a water left or something. Yeah, one fresh water left. Okay. Use that. There we go, there we go. Detect. Spark. Bye. It's fast. I'm just waiting for that self-destruct to go off. That's always the terrifying thing about fighting these, isn't it? Maybe I'll try Thunder. Even if it doesn't end up being super effective, it should be stronger. There we go, just enough. There we go. Since you already know Rain Dance, I should be able to evolve you just as soon as you evolve. Twice in a row. They grow up so fast. Okay, who needs what kind of healing? I was fine before I started this, so now my nose won't stop running. I'm sorry for the constant snuffles. I'd say I'd try to rein it in, but I've got absolutely no control over it. I think I gotta... Did I didn't buy a water stone yet? I can't evolve. I can't evolve. It was a Maki after all. Oh, a max survive. Normally that would feel really good to find, but I can't really use that right now, so I guess I'll be selling it. Oh well, I think they're worth a okay chunk of money. Okay, which way to go next? You. Yeah. Okay. Backtracking's going okay so far. And I should have plenty of escape ropes. I think I've got escape ropes. I wasn't looking for that, so... I can't remember if I've actually got any in there or not. Brick Break. I guess Brick Break does come in handy occasionally. It's just tough deciding what to use for that last slot. Do I go with Protect? Do I go with Sandstorm? Do I just use it on Mega Horn? Dugong should be... Earthquake. Dugong should be fine. Every time. Okay, what's your level? Speed. Shouldn't be that. Zapdos. Please. Okay. 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 Thunder. I hate sheer cold. I really hate it. Mm, 26. Jigglypuff. Yeah. I wonder what's better to... Yeah, I'm thinking of going in with just the 5. I'm not gonna lie, I'm running out of patience to train something else. There's smaller things I've got problems with in this game, but I think the one big thing is that there's not really an effective place to grind prior to beating the Elite Four. There's a pretty good place on one of the islands, but it's on like 4 or 5 island, I think, which you can't get to until after beating the Elite Four, so it's kind of a problem. And I mean, maybe it's not even a problem. It's only a problem if you're self-inflicting pain via a Nuzlocke. If you're just doing like a standard playthrough the way it was designed, it's just fine. And if you don't lose like half a box worth of party members for some terrible reason, it's fine. I've not lost that many in a long time. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what exactly went wrong. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that. Just in case. Just in case. I'll choose something I don't mind losing too much. Something that's fully evolved already. In case I decide I want to go after that amulet coin. How many was the amulet coin and where was that aid anyway? If I end up needing to grind for money, I might see what I can do about that. $27. Doing good. Okay, can't go back. That's the way I came from. I don't know if I just messed up or not. I might just have to enter back from the, well, entrance. Loop back around. Just make sure I've really cleared everybody out. Think. Other than not giving any money, battling against the wild Pokemon here isn't so bad. Earthquake makes short work of just about everything, so it's a good experience for Riley. And Onix are more annoying than anything. I feel a bit bad for Onix. Oof. One more hit should do it. One more. One more. Come on. You can do it. At least if I end up having to go back and train against those bikers for money or experience or whatever, Riley should have an easy time since he's poison. Not a bad idea. That was pretty good. I'll have to see what I can do. I feel like Rattata was one of my early route catches. But if I can get Uzumaki up to a point where I can just send her out to battle. Let me stick the experience point share on eradicate whatever I had. I had something. Pretty sure I caught one. And then I can be working towards that and see how far I get. Nope, nothing. Seems like a spot where something would be hidden. No such luck, it seems. Let me see. Right. Out. Okay, strength. FireRed. Hyperfang at level 13. If I keep it as a Rattata, it learns Super Fang as early as level 34. That feels pretty doable. Even if I've just got a Rattata. That seems very doable. Okay. Okay, if you're determined to use fire-type moves, you can play with Israel. Come on. There we go, there we go. Flinch? No, no such luck there either. Mm. 28. Growing good, Lapras. Can Lapras learn Sheer Cold? I'm tired of just... 55. Okay, level 40. You don't learn yourself 55. Should be good, should be good, should be good. Stress any day. And I'm at least not locked in. Precisely why I didn't want to be locked into a move. At least water-type moves shouldn't be. Should be a little bit weaker in the sun. Spoke too soon. Okay. Well, wait. Thunder should... Come on. Break the confusion. Of course. Three turns. That's enough. That's enough time. How ominous. There we go. Okay, 100%. Yes. That ended up benefiting me way more than it did Lapras. Should've gone with the water type move. I also really need to switch out. Okay, look at tongue. Israel. You're the least worn down. I like Lickitung a lot. Licky not as much. I kinda wish it had gotten a baby instead. Maybe a moderate stat boost. Wear it down with Fire Spin, and then I can use Stomp until the rain wears off. Maybe not. That's just the way the night goes. At least it's only been small, little, tiny things like that. Otherwise, it's gone pretty well. I guess it is only 30 minutes in, though. Heal everyone up. No. Guess I'll have to use a full heal after all. There you go. How disappointing. I'm pretty sure this is where Moltres used to be, only to be replaced with a guard spec. Pretty big downgrade right there. Brick. There we go. How many times is this going to hit? 3 times. There we go. Not that way. Also not that. I don't really... Well... Might be okay. Actually, maybe I don't want to deal with that after all. I don't trust that guard chop. Back this way. Did I battle you yet? Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm getting back to where I'd actually battled people. I don't know if it'll be better to train against... What's better? A bunch of lower level, like mid-30s Pokemon, or... like one person with one team of Pokemon that's like in the 40s. Neither one is favorable. At least I can go back and get this other item. Rare candy. I could really... It's only a little boost, but every little bit helps at this point. Rare candy? Please? Oh, or something similar. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'll hold on to this for now. If I end up taking that Rattata and Raticate, I may want that for training for that. I gotta get out and get that Wetterstone at some point too. Roadblock. I may go ahead and do that now. Take out the Sonics first. I have nothing else with all the Onyx and whatnot out here. Uzumaki should have an okay time training by herself. Was a smoke ball one of the items at the game corner? I feel like it might have been. What's my money looking like? That wouldn't be enough. Okay, go back to Celadon. Fly. Celadon. Go ahead and get that Wetterstone. Sell any items I don't need. See what my money situation is looking like after that. $16.40 Pokémon. Around 16. I think it's this way. So I may be able to get the amulet coin out here. And then I can start grinding for money just as much as experience at this point. Yeah, go ahead and give me 2 of those as well. Wait, do you have brick? I'm also gonna need one of those. Yeah. Up one more. Waterstone. Yeah. Waterstone. Yeah. Poliwrath. Final form. Let me see. What's your stats looking like? Water absorb. So you might be really helpful against the water types. Lorelei. Fighting hand water. You might be really helpful actually. Here you go. You can go ahead and learn Brick Break. Get rid of Hypnosis. Accuracy 60. I'm not relying on that. I think I'll teach you secret power too. Forget water gun. It's not a... No, it's a starting move. It's pretty bad. It's iconic, but it's not super useful. As much as I like Stomp, what's 65, 70 additional environmental effects. What did you have again? You had strength. Yeah. Stop trying to learn. Stop trying to learn secret power. Okay. I'll teach it to you. Every little bit of extra power counts. Forget Stomp. It's only a little boost, but I'll go ahead and take it. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, now I gotta go and see if I can get that amulet coin. Is this Route 16? Yep. "40 species. Yep, okay. Yeah. Item give. Amulet coin. Okay, now it should be set. Now it should be pretty well and set for training. Grind out some levels and grind out some money. I thought Victory Road would have taken longer. But it did not take nearly as long as I thought it would. I think there still might be a couple trainers in there, but I don't know if it'd be worth the time it'd take. Especially when there's not gonna be a bunch grouped up together. So it's not like I can just easily use the VS Seeker. Just taking out a bunch of little things with very little threat might be safer at this point. Yeah, that's a pretty okay amount of money for the effort. You got levitate, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got levitate. Quick. At least if I can get through the Elite Four and I can get to the islands, I should be able to catch some higher level stuff. Or stuff that starts out at a slightly higher level. It should be okay. Let me think. Lorelei. Hopefully I can highly rely on Uzumaki and a dam for that. Bruno. Got Riley for the Onyx. Once again, Rodam for the fighting types, hopefully. Zephyr's also not bad on defense, so she might be able to tank some. Agatha. Ghost types. I don't think anyone here has a particular advantage over ghosts. But Golbat... Oh, damn, again. Yeah, I'm just gonna be relying on Zapdos a whole lot. Lance. I should probably see if I can teach some kind of ice move to Uzumaki. Well then, Uzumaki's gonna have to be used for Aerodactyl and Charizard. It's gonna be a lot of Zapdos. It's gonna be a lot of Zapdos. And other stuff. Case by case. Oh well. At least training out here for Riley's gonna be super easy. Level 30. Uzumaki might not have too tough a time training out here. $53. Not great, but your thing's supposed to be attack anyway, isn't it, huh? You're a brawler. Yeah. At least off the Weezings, I can switch back to Earthquake. Matchup. How's that money looking? Not terrible, not terrible. I wish there was somewhere comparable, but the only places that big groups of people really smushed up with each other are the bikers. Either here or the route below this. It's all just bikers. It's bikers all the way down. Mankey. Don't think that'll be quite enough. Not with the experience point share attached. I can probably. I might be able to take it off now. Not everyone. Pretty sure that's everyone. Okay. Me. All the way down. Okay. I'll fly back down here. Yeah, even down here, it's gonna be bikers. Let me see. I'll go ahead and take that from you. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have hopped over that ledge. Let me see. Go back in here. See what I've got. See what I've got in terms of... Well, I thought I'd caught one, but... oddly enough, maybe not. Weird. Hey, I thought I had one. Some variant, but I guess not. Huh. Yeah, I thought maybe that, but I didn't see one in here either. Which is weird. I thought I remembered catching one, but I must... Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's really weird. I know I'm supposed to release them, but I can't bear to do that. They just have to be boxed forever. Besides, sometimes they just... There's some cases where they just refuse to be released. I forget if it's a friendship thing or if it's an HM thing. I think it may have been an HM thing to prevent you from releasing stuff if it was like your last thing that knew a certain HM so you couldn't soft lock yourself in places. Huh. Weird. Really, really weird. So, okay. I'll give that back to Uzumaki for now, then. How close are you to leveling? If you're super far away, I might just... No, you're about halfway there. I'll go this way for a change of scenery. May end up taking Golduck then, just by virtue of it being the closest thing in level 35. I don't think I'm finding anything higher than level 35 currently. I think I'm kind of out of places to catch stuff. Strength. So you should level up. You should level up after this battle. Real close to getting that Mega Horn. No, you're fine. I thought I had one too. I thought I remembered that, but it just could be my countless... any of my other countless replays of various Kanto games that I'm thinking of. They do all kind of bleed together at some point. It's just such a common thing. It feels weird that I don't have one somewhere. Level 40. Okay. How close are you now? Pretty close. 500. Okay, so one more battle should get it to level up. This should get Uzumaki to level up. If I can catch it near the start of a level up, I might go ahead and use that rare candy on Uzumaki. Oops. Jab the A button, just over and over a little bit too fast there. Strength. There we go. So yeah, I think I may just end up going with... Hi. Yeah, I think this is just turning into another grinding episode. I'll see what I can do, though. I'm trying to decide who to fill the last slot with, because I've only currently got 5 Pokemon on my team. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Golduck, just because the Golduck I've got is closer in level to everything else than anything else I've got. It's like level 35, so... There's the smallest chance that it might not get crushed in one hit. But with Riley up to level 40, everyone except my, I just evolved, Poliwag into Poliwhirl, and then Poliwhirl directly into Poliwrath, so Poliwrath is currently level 30, I think. That's the lowest level thing I got. Everything else is at least level 40. So I'm really hoping this doesn't... everything goes smoothly from here on out. I keep hoping for that and it keeps not happening, but you know, maybe tonight. Maybe tonight. It'll be the night. Brick, brick. There we go. Do you have anything else? Anything else? There we go. Grimer. Now send out Uzumaki. See how she does. Big break superpower surf. With rain dance. Okay. Rain dance not needed. Noted. Okay, good. Switch out for Uzumaki. Give Uzumaki the amulet coin. Yep, switch. Okay, there we go. The experience point share at least made training of Uzumaki smooth. Nice and safe without having to switch out a bunch. And she's quite impressively strong so far. I wasn't expecting her to be able to one-shot these things. I know she's more of a physical. She's supposed to be more of a physical attacker than a special attacker. But I guess the stab bonus from Surf is just enough that it's doing really well anyway. There we go. And after using the experience point share, 900 experience feels like all the experience in the world. I'd really like to be able to get Uzumaki a ice type move. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get enough money for that. A little bit of running up and down to charge up the Seeker. Just a little change of pace. No one's ready to battle. What a waste. Fine. Don't have anything with cut on me. I wonder if Golduck can learn cut. That would be convenient. Nope, not that way. Gotta go around. Gotta go around the long way. I'm out right here. Okay, who's ready? I keep doing that. I keep forgetting that I didn't set it to L equals A, and I can't even remember why I didn't set it to that. I feel like there was a reason. But I can't remember what it was. Yeah. Getting Uzumaki some kind of ice move would probably be a good idea. I've just gotta figure out what. I gotta double check that I don't have Blizzard. I might even use Blizzard at this point. I'm a little bit desperate. Ice Beam would obviously be better. But that's also really expensive. Break. Critical hit, nice. Unnecessary when at like 1 HP left. Still nice though. Level 33. I can't remember which kind of Pokemon you had. Hopefully it's more normal types. I do think it's more fun to think about it that way. Just presenting it like a police badge or something after a battle and just demanding double the prize money. Well, presumably it somehow magically doubles it. At least with Meowth and Persian and Payday, it kind of makes sense. They throw in the coins and gems from their head. But yeah, in reality, I've got no idea how the amulet coin works. Brick, brick. Oh, that'd be enough? I don't think that'll be quite enough. Yeah, a little bit more. They're really good for money, though. I wonder if there's anyone I could... I don't think there's anywhere where a bunch of beauties are grouped up, unfortunately. That'd be really good for training. Well, maybe not for training. That'd be really good for money. Ah! You know, let me check something right quick. Nope, these buttons still aren't working, and I'm not sure why. I'm gonna have to fiddle with that later. I'm not sure why these buttons aren't working. These definitely should be working. Maybe I was on the wrong thing. Hold on, hold on. Okay, oh yeah, okay. I was on the wrong profile. I was on the wrong profile. That's why none of my buttons here were working. Okay, never mind. That's not super important right now. Outside of solving a little bit of a problem from my end, that's not super important. But I'm happy I figured it out anyway. I know there's another pretty big group of trainers out here. Here I can hit like 4 or 5 at once. I know they aren't as good for battling as, I don't think their stuff is going to be as high leveled or as evolved as the one group of bikers at the type of cycling road, but I just get tired of battling them over and over and over. I've got limits. Don't think I'm gonna be able to hit you up. But it's so much better when they evolve. They're so much stronger. Yeah, 23. 23, level 23, over and over. That's not gonna be worth it. It's just not gonna be worth it. Hmm. 34. Still making good progress though, considering it started out at like, what, level 19? Level 20 something, I forget. That's really good progress. I will take slow and steady progress. I will take slow and steady and safe progress at this point. There we go. Not worth a whole lot of experience, unfortunately. Back to cycling road it is. How much? Well, Yeah, back to cycling road. It's either that or wild Pokemon and Victory Road, but the issue is they aren't going to give out any money. Besides experience, that really is the thing I could use most of right now. Speaking of which, where am I at currently? 24, 24. Too bad the money doesn't match the time. My old team. Everyone except Zephyr is gone. Okay, enough of that. Let me think. 10,500. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 80. 80. Almost everyone good. I keep doing that. I just need to go and set it to L equals A. Maybe there was a reason originally that I didn't set it up like that, but it's not doing me any good. When I keep pressing it and expecting it, and it's not happening. It'd also be helpful if I could quit dropping stuff. Okay, everything's settled. Everything's back into place. I'm going to save right now before I accidentally end up smashing all of the face buttons at once and resetting everything. There. Oh, I guess it doesn't take effect until I exit. Okay, there we go. There we go. Ah, was that why? Huh. Okay, so it's not just L. It's not just L, the right control stick is also functioning that way. Maybe that was why. Control stick, control pad. Right on the control pad is also functioning as A. Okay. I feel like maybe that was why. That was why I didn't have it before. Oh well, it's really too convenient. Secret power. You know. There we go. Wait, no. I just wanted to swap that with secret power. Okay. I think everything's finally set up now. Yeah, the control pad was definitely the reason I didn't have it set up before. I don't know why it has to change the control pad too. I'll get used to it. Submission. I don't think I'm... Let me look. I'll look, but I don't think I want it to... Yeah, 80 accuracy, 80 power. And it hurts the user. I'd rather keep Brick Break. Yeah, stop learning submission. Okay, so down on the control pad seems to be B. Okay. Good to know. This is all really good stuff to know. Level 35. Okay. I'm not running away. I'm looking for a battle. Level 33. This should be the best one yet. Nice and smooth. Oh yeah, I wanted to see if see if I still had Blizzard. Okay, I do still have Blizzard. I don't like that 70 accuracy. I don't like that. But if I can't get anything else, I may just have to go with that. Out of necessity. I really could use an ice type move. Normal is physical. But ice just has really good coverage, especially against dragon types. Just about level 36. Good. There we go. No, don't switch out. Oh well. After having to train with the experience point share, just being able to train without it feels like it goes a lot faster. I guess it really doesn't, but it feels like it does. Grammar. Surf. I'm copying. No. I wonder if... Yeah, even if the trainers have higher level Pokemon, I just can't see it being worth going to Victory Road. Not without the trainers being grouped closer together. And back again. Okay. Down, left, down, left. Hey. Okay. Okay. So L equals A changes more than just Delta equaling A. I wish I could still use the control pad. But up is start, down is B, right is A, and left is select. Okay. I guess it really wouldn't have done any good if it had changed it to the right stick, but I do wish I could still use the control pad like this. The control pad just feels right in grid-based games. I'm trying to decide what level I want to go in at. I want to say the rival has... I want to say the champion battle has Pokemon at like the tail end of the 50s, so getting stuff to at least the low 50s first would probably be a good idea. I feel like that would probably be a good move. And then hopefully they can get up slightly, just a little bit more, against the other Elite Four members. But as long as I'm able to at least kind of take advantage of type advantages, that's going to be the biggest thing. Strategy. If you can't rely on level, then you gotta rely on strategy. $37. But everything's moving along nicely. So I don't think this will take too long, I hope. I'd like it if I could get to the Elite Four tonight. I don't know if I'll make it that far, but I'd like to at least... If not challenging them, I'd like to be able to at least get up to the point where I'd feel comfortable challenging them. Also, change of plans for tomorrow night. I did want to stream tomorrow night, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Things should be normal on Tuesday, though. I actually managed to get tickets for the last part of the Amazing Digital Circus, but the only theater I could find is far away from my house, so I don't think I'm gonna make it back in time. But I'm super excited for that. I've been watching this unfold over 2 years. I'm just... If I have to wait until June 19th to see it on YouTube, I'm gonna have seen spoilers before then, and I don't want that. So I just really need to see this before it gets spoiled for me. If I make it through the Elite Four tonight, then... I don't know. I'd do something that wasn't FireRed probably on Tuesday night. Maybe if I can find some maps or something that I could preferably print off. I'd go back to Nexamon. But otherwise, if I don't get up to the point of the Elite Four. I'd go back to FireRed on Tuesday. It just kind of depends on what all gets done tonight. Yeah. Is that everyone? Okay. Couple of laps. At least it doesn't take too many laps to charge up. Already level 48. Almost. Just about. Getting there. Almost there. 38. Just about 40. There we go. I wish I had like a million more rare candies. Not enough surf left. That's Uzumaki's best move, so after this I'll have to go back and heal up, I think. And if I go by foot or by bike, that'll serve up the purpose of charging up the VS Seeker too. And again, I'll have to walk back here either way. One more battle. There we go. Wonder if this battle will be enough. Nope. Only one Pokemon left. I don't think that'll be quite enough. And brick. There we go. Just short. Okay. Back to Celadon. At least it keeps me on my bike. So I don't have to go in and switch that out. There we go. And back. Back again. Yeah, it was definitely the control pad switch that kept me from switching to L equals A before. The control pad just feels too right here. Oh well. Four that time. Okay, pretty good. Main key. And then she gets Uzumaki to level 39 at least. This does make me miss a proper fast forward button though. These are just the type of situations that was built for. One down. Okay, easy. I'll take my money after this too. That's just gonna be the other thing that I need a lot of. I'm not gonna have to worry about revives, which are kind of the expensive thing you'd want to buy anyway. So, mostly focusing on full heals and hyper potions. I don't think that'll be too bad. Surf. I guess one level through cycle through here wouldn't be too bad. Usually I talk about something interesting that was happening on here, but there's not a whole lot. I'm trying to think of what else I've been doing outside of this. I got the digital circus thing going on tomorrow. Already brought that up. I've been listening to Epic the Musical recently. I've been enjoying that too. But I just really like music, so... I think it's supposed to be getting an animated movie too, I read. So I wonder what kind of character designs they'll go with. So many people have had their own interpretations of what all the characters look like. It'll be interesting to see what kind of official versions they go with. I really like the versions that make compilations, animation compilations or animatic compilations from like multiple different artists and stuff. I think it's really cool to see projects coming together like that to make one big whole. Okay, how many downside? Is that okay, one more. One more guy. Start. 41,000. Okay, 500, 2,000. That'd be 2,000 coins right there. That's still not enough for an ice beam. I may just have to hold it. Yeah, I may just end up having to use Blizzard after all. That's fair. How was it? If you don't mind me asking. When I think of anime stage plays, the first place my mind usually goes is the Pokemon one. But that's just mostly because I play a lot of Pokemon. And that thing was a little bit of a disaster from what I understand. A beautiful disaster, but a disaster all the same. So... Hopefully the Chainsaw Man one was a little bit less chaotic. I didn't think musicals and things were my thing, but I guess it just took finding something that I actually found interesting. Ember Island. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. $40. Good, good. Live action things tend to take weird liberties with properties. I kind of miss the late 2000s era of stuff when just sometimes very random anime would end up with live action adaptations. Though, yeah, I don't necessarily miss the weird changes that would get made sometimes, like, Black Butler. That was one that got a live action adaptation, but nobody talks about it because it made weird changes, like turning Ciel into a girl. Why would you do this? Somehow, people can go into Black Butler and not understand what kind of person the creator and author is, and I don't understand why Ciel was changed into a girl. That's a strange change. Ouran, I never actually watched the Ouran High School Host Club one. I'm like 90% sure that got a live action adaptation though. Uzumaki, weirdly enough. Honestly, Junji Ito stuff doesn't seem suited for live action adaptations. I think half the fun is seeing how detailed the drawings get, but how is that going to translate over into real life? It isn't really. It barely translates into animation. I mean, it does. It does translate into animation really well. It's just really expensive to do so. To make it look just detailed and nice and good. I wish someday one of his works could get properly animated. Without undergoing what the newest Uzumaki thing underwent. Executive meddling and switching studios and running out of budget and... At least part 1 looked really good, you know? Speaking of which, I really love watching interviews with Junji Ito and stuff. He writes and draws such horrifying things, you'd think he'd be kind of scary too, but he's just a really nice guy. Very wholesome. Very nice. Just afraid of a lot of things. Which is where he draws inspiration from. One more. So yeah, I kind of like it when there's gap moe between the author or creator of some kind of work and the work itself. I always find that entertaining. Mankey. He only got the... Oh. Nope. No, this is a different trainer. One more after Mankey. Might be enough to get to level 41. Maybe. No, just match out. Never mind. Not quite enough. If I could at least get everyone to level 50. If I could get everyone to level 50. I think I'd try and head in at that point. Head in and just try and really go in on type advantage and strategy. At least to the best of my ability. Is that enough? Is that enough? Yep, there we go. 5, nice. Okay, so where's everybody at? You're at 40, Riley's at 40. Zephyr's at 43, Israel's at 42. Okay. What a pain. I'm not about sticking someone in the daycare, but I'm worried about someone learning to move and then screwing up the moveset, and then I've got to go find a tiny mushroom, and I think all that plus the money spent would be more disruptive than just continuing forward. Those all change Pokemon, yeah. Switch to Riley. Just let Riley go at it for a while. There we go. Okay, 600. It's not gonna... Not terrible, not terrible. Levitate. Earthquake's not gonna do any good. Gotta keep going. One more. There we go. There we go. You're the one that just has the one Pokemon, but it's like level 33, right? Yep, Wheezing. Oops, I forgot to switch out so Riley would be in first spot. Ah, well. I don't know if it's better to just keep going with Uzumaki until she's the level I want her anyway, though. It might be. It might be. If I keep up like this, by the time everyone's at the level I want them, I might have enough for an Ice Beam TM anyway. Honestly, reusable TMs are one of the best things to happen to the game. Not gonna lie. I don't want the challenge of trying to figure out who should learn a move. There's a difference between fun challenge and not fun challenge. I'd rather just be able to use it over and over. No. Don't switch. 3 more. You got 3 more uses of Surf. Should just be able to keep going. Surf. I might go back to Victory Road. Start training on the... Start training on the wild Pokémon out there. Compare the experience. See what's gonna be better. Higher level wild stuff or lower level trainer stuff. At least this will get Uzumaki to level 42. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, the switch to the control pad is just throwing me off a bit. I'll get used to it. Let me see, let me look up. Okay. An open bottle, kept tightly closed, refrigerated. Hold on. I'm just trying to see if a drink I've got in here that I opened last night should still be good or not. Okay, hold on. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. I'm grabbing another drink. Okay, I'm back. There we go. I grabbed 2 for good measure. I definitely misjudged how long a single drink was gonna last. I'm trying to pick a new anime to watch. At some point, it's just kind of like... There's too many options. I probably just need to pick something. Just pick something and go with it. But it's kind of like, time is limited. What if I don't like it? I enjoy writing fanfiction, so I like it when I can see chemistry of whatever form, friendship, relationship, whatever between characters. Honestly, I kind of like coming up with it myself. Or seeing what other people also see, rather than it being specifically focused on that, I guess. Shonen and sports animes tend to be really great for that. But it's not like I have, like... It's not like I favor one kind of thing in particular, though, so... I can't just look at one genre and say, okay, what's popular? Or what's obscure? Or whatever from this one genre. I like a little bit of lots of things. Oh. I should see if Twisted Wonderland got another season. Twisted Wonderland season 2. Okay. Looks like season 2 of... Okay, well, season 2 and 3 of Twisted Wonderland have at least been officially greenlit. Not out though, that's disappointing. I've got no interest in getting into a gacha game. I'm already playing Pokémon Pocket, and I can absolutely only play one gacha game at a time. Or I will spend way too much money. At least if I'm only playing one gacha game at a time, I can keep up with it like that. But I do not keep up with it if that expands out past past 2 or more, so I've learned that, so that's not happening. So unfortunately, I can't get into Twisted Wonderland that way. I'm pretty sure it's a gacha. I may have to double check that though. I do have the Twisted Wonderland Tamagotchi crossover though. That one was a little bit of a pain to get. That one sold out really quickly. They had different ones named after the different houses from the game. Yeah, that's fair. With Twisted Wonderland, I can kind of get it because it's got like Disney money behind it, so it's got like infinite money. And it is. Yeah, gotcha game. Oof. Nope, can't handle that. One part of that is a lot of... Yeah. That was disappointing. The first season was so good, and then season 2 was just... And then One Punch Man, One Punch Man and Seven Deadly Sins getting screwed over by studio changes and stuff, and I understand that fighting anime do not have to have... Ideally, the animation is going to be focused... Most of the budget is going to be focused on the fights, but... There's a limit. There's a limit to what I'm willing to put up with. No, that one I know of, but I hadn't actually watched it. I know in a lot of cases... I won't say a lot of cases. I don't necessarily know if this is the case for anime. I know, like, when stuff comes out on streaming, recently, not necessarily recently, but like shows and stuff on Netflix. Well, it's been the trend for a while, I'll actually say. Is to, like, create what should be, like, one big single season, ideally. But then split it up into, like, a million different 8-episode seasons. Seasons. Big air quotation marks there. So what should have been, like, what at one point in time would have been like a 40-episode season is now like 5 8-episode mini-seasons, and it's horrible. I hate it. So that ends about being how a lot of things get multiple seasons greenlit right off the bat. They're already done, and it should have been one season, but it's just being greenlit as multiple ones to stretch it out. I didn't enjoy the new Higurashi. I mean, it was okay, and you either die a show at a satisfying conclusion, or you live long enough to see yourself turn into Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. I didn't like that. And I just thought the facial expression... Is the animation technically better? I guess so, but I didn't enjoy... I just didn't like it as much. I don't think the digital animation fit the creepy aesthetic that I feel like it should have as well. And the facial expressions just definitely weren't nearly as good. Okay, now what have I actually enjoyed? Recently, I've been watching Psyche K. I've liked that a lot. That is fair. That is fair. Things do need to be spread out. I don't know if it's a thing in anime. They seem like they're under more crunch than maybe Western stuff. I know with Western cartoons, what they'll do a lot of the time is, the first episode produced will not be the first episode that actually airs. They will produce a couple of episodes before they produce the actual first episode. That's not a pilot. That way, the quality that they put out for the first episode is better. But they're not necessarily blowing all of the budget there. It's just that they've had more time to build up to that point. They know better how the characters should, and colors and everything should work together. Speaking of Western cartoons, I really need to go and watch the second season of Fiona and Cake. I have been watching the second season purely through YouTube clips, and that's probably not the best way to experience it. It's probably not the best way to experience anything, but that's what I've been doing. I accidentally apparently came up with a really good idea, a really good premise for a fanfic involving Huntress, Wizard, and Finn, because I made a comment about how I should definitely do this, and then people in the comments kept asking me for the name of it. But it was only a premise. I didn't actually get to it. I didn't actually get around to writing anything. So I've got nothing to provide them with. It was basically going to be about Huntress Wizard. How her and Finn... Finn and Jake always reincarnate together throughout the various timelines and stuff. And it was going to be about Huntress Wizard chasing alongside Finn, kind of reincarnating, following after him, but never, like, being... her fate not being woven together with his the same way Finn and Jake's are. But she was constantly chasing him anyway. Yeah. I was either watching things in 2 to 3 minute clips, or there was a brief period when official anime was put out on YouTube just for free. It was just there for free. Subbed or dubbed, whatever you wanted. And then streaming took over, and that was no longer the case, and then you had to pay for everything again. Either that or going to super skeevy fans, either that or going to like super skeevy pirate sites and watching maybe officially dubbed stuff, sometimes fan dubbed stuff or fan sub stuff. The shady websites is how I watched Igarashi. That was great. Only destroyed one friend's computer before I figured out what I was doing. Actually, it was me and a third friend that were destroying the second friend's computer with viruses. He ended up having to wipe that computer and just start over. Before showing us where to go, like civilized pirates. Good bad times. I kinda miss fan subs though, I'm not gonna lie. It would take forever because it would usually be one person taking it on as a passion project, but you could get some obscure stuff that way. Stuff that wasn't totally mainstream. I mean, you can find stuff like that in an official capacity too if you just dig a little bit past like the very first suggestions. But part of what I liked about that kind of stuff is like, it's a person taking this on and they're not making any money off of this. It's not like a big corporation's doing this. They're just doing this because they really like this thing and they thought it deserved to be shared with like the rest of the world and stuff. I think that kind of thing's very admirable. Very human. Yeah. Ghost stories. I somewhat recently got that on Blu-ray. I think it was Blu-ray, might have been DVD. I forget. Just because I need to have that preserved forever. If this ever disappears off all streaming and all internet services for some reason, I will have this. I can prove that this existed. Let's see. I'll be honest, I've kind of come to appreciate things that I can just watch in one shot more than things that go on forever and ever. Or things that can be enjoyed in small bites. Last thing I went and watched all the way through was... Yeah, I think that was Erased. I actually enjoyed the dub for that one alright. The dub's only on Hulu for some reason, even though Crunchyroll is subbed. I'm not sure why it's split up like that, it's weird. I mean, I'm sure it's got to do something with some kind of rights, but why does Hulu have their dub rights? I don't know. I don't get it. People's takes on that one always suck, though. Too many people complain about the ending that he didn't get with the girl he saved, even though it was never about him getting with that girl anyway. This was always a story about saving his mom, and the other characters that get saved along the way are kinda there by proxy. This is just a symptom of general media literacy. Literacy in general, not just... I just wish people could sit and think on stuff for a little bit sometimes. I don't want to just blanket say people shouldn't have opinions on things because I like being able to analyze things with other people. I like hearing other takes. I like fair enough. Yeah, that is fair. I kinda wish they'd gone into just a teensy bit more detail about his powers. Being able to see those thread fates or whatever. I'd like to go back and rewatch that at some point. At least rewatch that ending part where he's explaining his whole thing. It wasn't recent, it was back in like 2020. I think Japan Sinks was another one I watched all the way through. Let me tell you. Well, first of all, I enjoyed it well enough. I enjoyed it well enough to at least watch all the way through it. It's primarily it's very disaster film filling, so people are dying right and left. That's to be expected. That wasn't my issue with it. My issue was that I won't even call it. I don't know how to put it exactly. It was a little bit weird in the animation department. It wasn't enough to stop me from watching it, but I definitely did notice. Characters went off model more than Steven Universe. And Steven Universe was another thing I enjoyed. I stayed away from the fandom for that because that was one of those terrible online fandoms, but I enjoyed the show well enough. But one of the things that Steven Universe is known for is characters pretty consistently going off model, but let me tell you, Japan Sinks was worse. That at least bothered me more there. It might be because they were going for... anime is inherently more proportionally realistic, I guess. It tends to be compared to Western cartoons, so maybe that's why it bothered me less with Steven Universe. I don't know. It just felt like people would shift. Things would shift in size so much. I don't know. I did find that a bit distracting. Not enough to keep me from finishing it. I finished it in one night. Yeah, honestly, I just need to pick something. I just need to pick something. Pick something and go with it. Short or not. Maybe just something I like the looks of visually. Not even go off anything else. Just start there. As toxic of a site as Twitter is, I do enjoy the way the algorithm works. That one does tend to at least work consistently in my favor. I engage with one type of media, it shows me more of that. So if I want suggestions for anime, I just interact with, go look at posts about anime, and then suddenly there's more in my feed. So sometimes that can be helpful. It does tend to have alpha takes about some things, though. And it's really polarized. Either people love a thing or they hate a thing, so it might not always be helpful that way, but sometimes I can at least give me an idea of where to start. I can't remember specific names because I've been screenshotting stuff instead of writing it down, and I'd definitely remember it better if I wrote it down, but did it. Give me 1 second. I gotta look up on stuff. Released. Huh. Because there was a couple things around the same time. 2015. $2013. I would say it was one of the more well-known ones. There was just a handful of stuff around that time. I think Gravity Falls may have been... I think Gravity Falls was like the year before that. It's just kind of less noticeable there. I guess there's also The Amazing World of Gumball. In terms of Tumblr art, out of all of these things, Steven Universe probably had one of the bigger influences on that. So out of all these things, even though some of them technically do the same thing and came out before it, I'm going to say Steven Universe probably did have the biggest impact in that regard. And even the anime we get over here, that's like a small little drop in the bucket compared to what's released in Japan. I really wish we got more Western animation consistently. It tends to come in like waves. Waves of good stuff with either droughts or really not great stuff in between. I think streaming has probably done a lot of damage. And networks don't treat animation or animators or development teams behind animation well. Like, Paramount Plus is about to go through yet another merger thing, I believe. Who currently owns them? I forget. But a lot of their stuff is going over to, I want to say a lot of their stuff is going over to, like, HBO Max or something. I forget exactly who's buying out who. And it's been making me sad, so I haven't actually looked, but there's a non-zero chance this stuff is going to be lost just because it's going to be written off as, like, a tax write-off. And then, like I was saying earlier, with things that should be, like, single seasons split into lots of tiny little seasons that don't make much sense. Executive meddling. It's rough when you'd really like to be a fan of Western animation too, because some really great stuff does come out of it. Adventure Time. And everything that came out of that golden era. Cartoon Network. The Disney had the Owl House and Amphibia and Gravity Falls. And that's another thing about Western animation, I guess. I feel like these are things that could kind of be enjoyed by... I don't know, it's tough. I'm trying to think of how to word it. It's like... if you are not already a fan of animation in general, just as like a medium, you are probably not going to be an adult that goes into watching these shows. Maybe not even a teen. Even though I think they could be enjoyed by those audiences, but... And then there's not much in the middle for, like, the teen, young adult audience in terms of Western animation, and then... what do you have in terms of adult animation? There's not... there's not a lot. Most of what you get that's good ends up coming from Adult Swim. They're like the last bastion of people willing to experiment with this kind of stuff left. Other than that, what do you got? Family Guy, various Family Guy knockoffs. Rick and Morty. Big Mouth was one of those things that ran for way too many seasons and did not justify existing. And now it's animal-based spinoff. It's just frustrating. And I'm happy to see things like, Fiona and Cake coming out and, a new season of Gumball, but these things are good, but once again, they're spin-offs of things that were good. And that came from like 10, 15 years ago now. I'd kind of like to see... I'd kind of like to see more new things. But yeah, I get it. The state of the animation industry over here just isn't great. So it just makes it difficult. So I'm glad that indie studios and things exist. That they're able to let, and they're able to help people fund, like, their passion projects and stuff they really believe in. I'm really grateful for the existence of stuff like that. And then even YouTube. It used to be pretty good for animators. At least alright, but then the algorithm shifted, so what it prioritized really hurt animators. I remember when that happened. It went from prioritizing views to watch time, I think. I think that was what did it. And that's like kind of hard because if you're like a little indie animator all by yourself, you're not gonna be able to put things out consistently. You're not gonna be able to continuously feed that algorithm for that watch time. So, yeah. This has been just a big, whole, long, depressing ramble. I gotta think of something a bit more cheerful. Give me a minute. I can definitely do this. Ah, all 6. Good. At least grinding's been going smoothly, and it's been a good distraction from that. What level are you? I haven't actually been looking. Oh, 48. Nice. And then it's like falling asleep and waking up to find that your Pokemon's leveled up 8 times. I'll take it. Let me think. Something more positive. I think my book of Takapi's Original Sin should be here soon. That's not really more cheerful though, that's actually extremely depressing. But I'm the one that's actively choosing to. Arriving to do... orders. Okay. Yeah, that should be arriving today. Is it after midnight? Okay, today, not yesterday, today. Yeah. I already know generally how things end. That's never stopped me from going into something before. Like, I don't necessarily actively look for spoilers, but sometimes I still end up wondering upon them. And that just happens unless you give up all social media, and I don't really want to do that entirely. But I've never been too bothered by spoilers. I think it might be because of reading fanfiction. Like, I look for things based on tags. Rather than excluding tags, so I usually have an idea of how things are gonna end up based on that. So that's never really bothered me. If the story is good enough to justify existing, it's going to make me feel something regardless of whether I know how it ends or not. Whether that's happy, or like it's a good story, or whether it's depressing. If it's good enough, it should make me feel something. And not everything has to fight for that existence. It's okay for things just to exist sometimes. Sometimes you just want to make something because it makes you happy to make this thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be a great thing. Sometimes just because you're happy with it, it's enough. And that's okay. That's the whole reason for going into something with a fluff tag. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, that's why I ended up buying the book instead of watching Takapi. I made it up to him crawling out of the pipe and saying he was hungry with a single tear, and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to watch this. I couldn't do it. But I still want to interact with the story, but I can't watch this in animated form. This is gonna break me. Oh, and I gotta go watch Canon and Air at some point. There's some of Key's other animes besides Clannad. Luckily, I hear they're only like a 7 to 10 on the devastation scale. Maybe 7 to 8. With 0 being not devastating at all and 10 being Clannad. I know Air, at least last time I checked, Air was on YouTube in its entirety, at least in dubbed form. I don't know if dubbed will be that good. I know dubbed was not great for Clannad. Mostly. There's 2 episodes in particular. 2 specific episodes of Clannad that I do think are better dubbed than subbed, but... if I'm ever trying to convince someone to watch it, I show them a clip from the dubbed episode. It's just the way things are worded. I think they hit just a little bit harder in English for some reason than they did in Japanese. And it's one of the little standalone stories, so it's not really spoiling anything. It's just a good representation of the emotions you can expect from it. So people can decide if they're good with that or not at that point. And then either keep with it or tap out then. I'll have nothing else. Grinding's been going smoothly. I may end up waiting to actually challenge the Elite Four. That may end up being Tuesday, but everyone should be at least an appropriate level. The rival should end off near the 60s, so like either just over 60 or ending off in the late 50s. So I'm thinking if I could get everyone up to at least 50, early 50s, somewhere in there, that should be enough. And I might end up having enough money to buy another Ice Beam TM after all. That would be great. That would be great. Let's see. Yep, 3 left. How are you looking? How are you looking? Let's see, let's see. $49. Just about 50. Where's Zapdos at? 53? 54? If I could get everyone up there. 53, okay. Then I think that would be good enough. Lance is the only one I might have to worry about. I think everyone else I've got at least some kind of counter for. Not even an all-terrain vehicle in sight. There was a local con going on near here recently. And I had a friend who was... It wasn't an anime con, it was more comic books and stuff. There's probably more local shops than there need to be around here for the population of the city. They need to open more up in one of the nearby cities that don't have anything instead of continuing to open here. Where stuff's already either been established or strip mined. And I wanted to help. Because a friend was having a booth, but... No, you're already out. I'm not switching. No, this L equals A thing. The loss of the control pad is still throwing me off. I wanted to help, but I got told I was one concrete away from ending back up in the hospital for a month, so... Again... It would not be the first time. So that didn't work out. Which was disappointing, but... They weren't necessarily wrong. No, that's okay. I don't know a lot. I don't know, my knowledge of Western comics is also weird. That just kind of jumps all over based on... based on what I find the most interesting. So, that leads to weird things like me knowing an inordinate amount about Jonah Hex, but not being able to tell you where, who, Two-Face was a villain towards. That kind of thing also leads to other weird things in my knowledge base. Like watching 3 episodes of Doctor Who and then not watching anything else from the series, but immediately jumping into the wiki and reading the entire lore behind the Great Time War. And now having a disgusting amount of knowledge about that I'm never actually going to be able to apply to anything. Just because I found the topic fascinating. Just the an idea of a war where both sides can jump between time and are just rewriting history as fast as it can happen. I found that horrifying. Ooh, Fallen London. Fallen London's a game. Fallen London's a game, yes. Fallen London's another kind of area where that happens, like... What kind of game would I just... Fallen London's like a big choose-your-own-adventure game. With kind of very light D&D-like stats that decide how things can go. Whether you fail one of the... Whether you pass or fail one of the things you're trying to do. That's another area where that took over, but, that one I did also actually play a lot of. Because, well, the various wikis for it do have a whole lot of text about the game. They don't have everything there. A lot of it you just gotta go play for yourself. It's very, it's like gothic eldritch horror. It's a really fun world. I love the lore and I love the writing. I can only really recommend it to very specific kinds of people, though, because It's the kind of game where you play it and you read a whole lot of text and you choose an option and then you are rewarded for a success with a whole lot more text, so really only people who are really inclined to reading and that kind of setting are going to be the ones who are going to want to play it. But I like it a lot. I like the lore. I like the characters. There's a tabletop game. I don't actually know if it's coming out soonish. Production seems to be going good behind the scenes. The team behind it at least says it is Magpie Games. I backed that, so whenever that releases, I should be getting a copy of the books and stuff for that. And I'll be honest, most of that is going to a friend, but I really wanted the lore book. I'm not actually good at running tabletop games. I've tried, I'm better at playing them. And I'm not even really sure I'm good at that. I enjoy them though. I have fun with them. I guess that counts as a more cheerful topic. There's one particular questline in Fallen London that I really fixated on for a long time. I don't know how to talk about it without going into big spoilers for that, though, like... how to put it? It's a relatively infamous questline. Due to lore reasons, in Fallen London, your character cannot actually die. You may end up on a long boat with death temporarily, but you will eventually wake back up. Just back in your own body. Oops. You're coughing, that's not gonna work. You can even play chess against death if you want to help speed things up. But there's one particular questline that will leave your character unplayable. And it warns you from the very beginning before you even take the quest on, and every single step of the way that all of this is a bad idea. It's not going to have a happy ending. If you finish this, it's going to be a bad time. And then at the very end, if you don't turn back, that your character will be rendered unplayable for one reason or another, depending on which ending you undertake. Because this quest does have multiple different endings. So really, the only reason you're doing it is to satisfy your own curiosity. And it's right, there is no real happy ending here without you just turning back and not finding out what's right at the end. That one I super fixated on for a long time. And it is a grind. It is a grind to get through. It is not necessarily fun, but it does have some of the best writing in the game. Not that it's meant to be fun. It is meant to be punishing the whole way through. You are meant to suffer alongside your character, who's slowly being driven mad by an inhuman hunger the longer you go on. And you're not locked into this. You're not locked into this quest. You've got an item that you keep with you the entire time that you can just use to opt back out of it if you want. And you can get back into it with some difficulty if you decide you want to. I don't know why you would after getting out. But you can. Where was I going with this? And he gets started on tangents, and I'm pretty sure they have a point in the beginning, but I lose them somewhere along the way. Oh yeah, that being one of the things I fixated on, but actually engaged with. Beyond just jumping into the wiki for it. So that was interesting. Where are you at? 41? Okay. Making good progress. That's 2 out of 5 that should be good to go. Oh yeah, I needed to check my money too. Honestly, I wouldn't mind playing some Fall in London. I don't know how interesting that would be. Especially because it's like time. It's not. As your actions are limited and they recharge over time. So I don't know how interesting that would be, especially if I gotta stop. Maybe I could screenshot it. And then read the options and then, like, narrate over what I chose and why. Maybe I could take that as an opportunity to go deeper into the lore about whatever characters were popping up in the story at the time. That might be a better way to do it than as like a traditional Let's Play. Or a traditional stream. That would also be doable because the game's technically free. Free to play. I think you can double your actions by subscribing, and there are some stories in it that you can go through by paying their currency or for subscribing. I think you get like 1 a month or something. So there are some perks. But otherwise it's free. I'll have to think about that. Because finding a way to share that game and that world and lore with other people, I think that would be fun. It might be more palatable than just telling someone to go play it. Because like I said, it takes a very specific person to just want to go do that. And again, I've used Earthquake on a coughing. That's not gonna do me any good. Everything missing. Come on. There we go. Okay, what's next? Oh, that's it. Okay, okay. I was gonna switch out, otherwise switch out to something else. Erase that accuracy loss. Such a pain. Let's see. Earthquake. Yeah. Yeah, I really would like this to be the last grinding episode, so I really would like to be able to get everyone up to speed before calling it a night. And then I've got to decide if I just want to press on ahead with the Elite Four, or if I want to stop there. I guess I'll see how long the rest of this training takes. Uzumaki was gonna be the worst of it. Starting off at the lowest level. She's up there now. So everything else is gonna be repetitive, but it should be. It should be. It should be smooth if slow. One more. One more. Not gonna use Earthquake this time. Strength! There we go. There we go. There we go. Hmm. 43, 43, 43. Couple more levels. 7. Several more levels. What are your stats looking like? Getting better. Still wish defense was higher. 122, you're looking pretty good though. You are part fighting type after all, so I guess it makes sense. Mega Horn, finally. Oh, oops. Okay, 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 okay. No. I control that control pad change. That's going to get me in trouble at some point. I can feel it. I can see. I can remember now why I switched that off. I might just end up switching that back. Huh. Try Mega Horn. It should hit a lot harder than anything else except Earthquake. If it'll hit. And yet, not very effective. Squish is that idea. Back to strength, I guess. I was hoping for more from Mega Horn, but I guess I shouldn't have expected more from a bug against poison matchup. Oh well. At least I don't have to worry about poison with Riley. Not everyone? I guess so. Back and forth a couple times. Is that enough? No one. Maybe I finally beat them all too hard. Too many times. Everyone's finally worn out. I'll keep trying though. There we go. All but one this time. That helps make up for it. Yeah, I'm really glad to have the Versus Seeker in this one. It's a lot better than the rebattling system in Ruby and Sapphire. That one was always a little bit random. At least it felt random. Which trainers would decide they were ready to battle again? And again, I keep doing this. Hannah would never beat everyone on the route. It would just be like a handful of trainers that would rebattle you versus with this one. Well, you can have a rematch with anyone. Pretty much. I wish it worked in gyms and stuff too. I don't think it does it? I don't think it works inside buildings. How am I looking on money? Oh, nice. Yeah, by the time everyone's finished. I should have more than enough for supplies and for... and I think I'll have enough for another Ice Beam DM, so I don't have to rely on Blizzard. Let's see, Earthquake. Strength. Strength so much out too. I guess I'll just switch over to someone else at that point. That's probably a better strategy than continuously running back to Celadon. I'll do my best. Just a little bit more. Strength. Last use of strength. There we go. That's the right series of buttons to hit. There we go. Level 44. Okay, who do I wanna... I'll go with Zephyr next. Okay, secret power. 20. Down to 18. Okay. Zephyr's at least another one. Even if it goes a little bit slower. Was Zephyr just due to lower power? And having to use a normal and physical move against these Weezings and stuff. Zephyr's another one I don't have to worry about poison, so I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I'll have these guys, and then I think I'll just insert Golduck, based on being level 35. It'll probably still immediately go down, but like, at least there's a maybe behind it. Maybe it could survive something if it's got a good type matchup against it. Something strong. I know I said I'd get used to the control pad thing eventually, but I'm not entirely convinced. I'm not entirely convinced that actually I will learn to press the right button. Solar beam. Oh yeah. That was the other thing I had to switch out. I had to switch out the amulet coin. Gotta be making that good money. I'm not saying there's no point in this if I'm not making the good money. But it is really helpful. Here, other thing was the miracle seed, but I'll probably end up using something. Secret power. I'll probably end up using secret power more than solar beam anyway, so. I think that'll be okay, even having to switch off the miracle seed for the amulet coin. Oh yeah, was Mystic Water, did I get a Mystic Water? I'll have to check on that. Can't remember if it was that or charcoal. I am pretty sure I had charcoal on Israel. Oh yeah, there's charcoal. I'll have to see if I got a Mystic Water. I can't remember. If I didn't, I could probably buy one of those at this point. Then Uzumaki can carry that just in case. Battle Dance. I don't think I'm gonna... 70. Nah. I don't like being locked into moves, and I don't like them ending off with confusion. Neither of these is particularly conductive to a Nuzlocke. Okay, 3 left. 3 left. Ugh. Yeah, seismic toss is the one thing that's going to hurt. I'm getting tired. I thought I could make it longer. But grinding for this long is boring and is not conducive to staying awake. I'm gonna keep going for as long as I can, though. If it hits a point where I run out of things to talk about, so be it. I will be getting this grinding done now, so it can be finished. Over and done with. Even if I don't get up to the point of taking on the Elite Four. To the point where I'm actually going in and facing off with them, even if that waits. Then at least it'll be over. Should be okay. Should be okay. One more. 13:20. Okay. Did I want at least 50 for everybody, if not just a little tiny bit higher. Not like super high, but if I could get everybody up to 53 or so, that would be great, but worst case, I'll just go in with. Right at 50. I don't want lower than 50. Just because I know where the rivals are and at a certain point of your opponent's Pokemon being like way higher level than yours, you just aren't going to be able to win. But I'm hoping if I start with at least level 50, they can get up maybe a couple more levels, some of them, by the time we get up to the champion. But he's gonna have Pokemon and the 50s. Some things are gonna be high 50s. I can't remember if they get into low 60s or not, or... But yeah, I think 50 is a good spot to aim for. Because I really would rather not have yet another grinding episode right after this. I'd like to just be ready. How many coins do I got? $50 coins. Okay, yeah, that's not enough. I bet I could get flamethrower. Ice beam. I know I need ice beam. Fire blast is probably fine. Thunderbolt. What do you know? Honestly, if I've got something else that can learn fly, I'm gonna make... I'd probably make Zapdos forget fly in order to learn something else. Just because Drill Peck outclasses it. Maybe. Thunderbolt. And then maybe some kind of normal type move. Maybe another secret power. What were the other ones you had? You had an Iron Tail, and I think you also had Shadow Ball. Huh, special attack and attack are actually tied. I wonder if you could learn Flamethrower. Would Flamethrower do you any good? What are you weak against? I don't know, I can't think. That's okay. Where's Ice Beam? There we go. Oh, you can learn Ice Beam. Okay. I think actually what I need to do is save up for a second Ice Beam to give to Riley. I think that may actually be what I need to do. Having at least two Ice Beamers would be really, really helpful. I might make it forget strength. Maybe strength for... Or Brick Break. Maybe Brick Break. Maybe Brick Break for Ice Beam. I was trying to think if I'll be using him against any of Lorelei's Pokémon. Because that's the main area where... That's the main area where Brick Break would be helpful, but... I don't think so. I mean, her thing is Ice-type Pokemon, but in this game that's also going to be mixed with either Water-type or Psychic-type. Neither of which I want Nidoking to be going up against. That's just going to be a terrible matchup. Then Brick Break I can easily get another TM of if I change my mind. I'm kind of thinking of changing out Fire Spin for Flamethrower, if I can afford that one too. Because Fire Blast is fine power-wise, and it's okay accuracy-wise. But there's just not enough points there, and I'm gonna run out of stuff trying to restore that. And in the middle of battle, that can be dangerous. Fire Spin's okay for chip damage. But, like, I don't think it's good enough to justify maybe keeping it over flamethrower. I think that may end up being what I do. If I can get enough. If I can get enough money. That's gonna be the thing. After everyone's a high enough level, I think I might be there. I just gotta make sure I've also got enough that I can buy supplies, healing items. That may end up being even more important, and more important than anything else. His trail is a little bit more annoying to train here, just due to not being resistant to poison. Okay. Munch up. Yeah, that's definitely not enough points. I'd need to get up to 80,000. 80,000 would... 80,000 to just purchase the TM outright. Via coins and not having to turn it into a gambling episode. How many restorative items do I have? Ether. 2 ether. 2 elixir. Is that really it? How about leopard berries? How many of those do I have? 2 leopard berries. Yeah, none of that's really enough. I'll just have to see what all I have the money for. Maybe it's just having surf, but I feel like Poliwrath went way faster than these other ones are going. But that could also just be my imagination. I didn't want to have to make another grinding episode, but I may have to call it here for the night. Grinding is not conducive to staying awake. I think I'm gonna have to call it here. I tried. Oh well. That is a good foundation for grinding in the next episode. Oh well. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you. Good night. I'll be back. I'll be back on. I'll be back. Tomorrow's Monday. Today's Monday. I'll be back Tuesday night. I'll be back Tuesday night. Thank you. Bye.